Well friends, let us look at the big picture of the control system. We know the components of the control system are here. So we have model, stability, analysis and design. Now in the analysis, we have two types. One is time response analysis, the second is frequency response analysis. Let us concentrate on frequency response analysis. What do you mean by frequency response analysis? Let us take this system, and this is a system, LTI system, linear time invariant system. And for this system, I am connecting the input and the output. So input is R of t and output is C of t. Let us say this input is sinusoidal input. For example, R of t is equal to A sin omega t, where omega is a frequency, t is a time function. Then this sinusoidal input is connected to the system. For any LTI system, the output is also sinusoidal. Means let us say the output C of t is B sin omega t plus phi. So if you look at the input and output frequencies, the input frequency, output frequency are same, but in output there are changes in the magnitude and the phase angle. Then what is the frequency response? The frequency response is the variation of the magnitude and the variation of the phase angle for different values of omega. For example, omega is varying from 0 to infinity. What will be the magnitude? How it varies? Similarly, when omega is varying from 0 to infinity, what will be the phase angle? How it is going to vary? So which gives the frequency response of the system. In the same function, A sin omega t. So if you fix the omega and if you vary the time t, whatever the response you will get, that is the time response for the sinusoidal input. Whereas if you fix t, then if you vary the omega from 0 to infinity, then that response is the frequency response of the system. Now let us look at what are the advantages of frequency response. Now frequency response analysis or frequency response methods are very simpler, and we can do the experiments in the laboratory itself, because in laboratory we find the sinusoidal generators and also measuring units available. So with that we can get the frequency response. Generally, using the frequency response, you can find out the stability of the system and also we can design the system. Now, so to find absolute stability, to find relative stability, the frequency response is very useful method. Similarly, frequency response method basically used for LTI systems and also for conventional control theory system, which are very simpler in getting the graphs. And for time delay systems, whenever you have in the transfer function e power minus st, then frequency domain technique will give us the accurate result. Whereas when you look at the RH criteria, where we already seen we need to approximate whenever you have e power minus st as 1 minus st. Whereas in frequency responses, so the approximation is not needed, we can get the accurate response and we can analyze it very accurately. Similarly, if the frequency domain specifications are available to you, then we can correlate with the time domain specification. The correlation is always possible. And for systems like complex systems where the differential equations are or integral differential equations are unable to write, then we can conduct the experiments, then we can find out the frequency response and obtain the model. So modeling of the system using a frequency response is a quite common technique wherever the mathematical analysis is not possible. Then what are the drawbacks of frequency response? So one of the drawback is the frequency response cannot be applicable for systems having large time constant, especially for process systems. We find the time constant in minutes and hours. Frequency response is not possible because frequency input is very fast changing signal, whereas system cannot change and for that range. So we cannot apply frequency domain techniques for slow systems, slowly varying systems. Similarly, the system response the analysis gives inaccurate results if at all, if you have any non-linear components in the system. And practically, when it comes to the frequency response experiment, it is a time consuming process. It takes little bit laborious calculations.